Hey everyone, CXWORX 19 is here with new moves, great choreography, and lots of options. You and your participants are going to love it. With a little extra preparation, you'll be able to have great success with your very first teaching of this release. I'm going to give you some tips on how to coach the choreography and options for tracks 3 through 6. First, a brand new move. In track 5, we have the standing oblique crunch with plate. This is a really cool move that will challenge your balance, oblique strength, and shoulder endurance. This is a pretty simple move to execute, so you shouldn't need to demonstrate it before class or before the track. Just be sure to review the compulsory cues for this move in the choreography notes and remind your class that holding the plate is optional. The move is challenging even without the plate. Now for some tips about the tracks, and let's start with track 3. In this track, you will use both a plate and a tube. If you have plates that are hard for your participants to hold, encourage them to use a small plate or no plate at all for the backward stepping lunge with press. Then, when you transition to the squat with the bicep raise and the double front raise, encourage them to challenge themselves by keeping lots of tension on the tubing or even a heavier gauge of tubing. Next up, track 4, and the key to really working the hip and glutes hard is that you work the correct leg in each exercise. Clearly tell your class right leg and left leg at each transition. The choreography goes single leg deadlift, single leg squat, and then single leg bridge. Make sure you very clearly coach which foot is on the ground and which foot is crossing over for the bridge. The hip being worked in the bridge should be the same as the hip that was just worked when standing. Your glutes will be screaming by the end of this track. Alright, next up, track 5 is fast. The choreography is going to come at you quickly, and if you're not ready, you could miss the transitions. When you're preparing to launch this release, be sure to practice your coaching for track 5 out loud, as you'll need to leave yourself plenty of space in the coaching script for the transitions. In the first half of this track, stick to mostly layer 1 cues. Coach the choreography and just a few simple technical cues for each exercise. There's just one tricky part in track 6, and that is the tube setup for the seated row. Once your participants try tying the tube around their feet, it's really not that complicated, but the first time it can be a little tricky. Instead of stopping the music before track 6 to show your class, try demonstrating this setup just before you start in your class introduction. CXWORX 19 is a fun, challenging workout. These tips should help you be successful the very first time you teach this class and help your members get the most out of this awesome release. Oh, just one more thing. If you haven't done it yet, be sure to download the Mills app for your iOS device from the App Store. You're gonna love it. That's it for this one. See y'all next round.